What is up, everybody? It's Cobes here, and today I am back with a Fortnite video. And guys, listen to the sound of this. Listen to the quality of my voice right now. Hopefully it's a lot better. If you guys have any recommendations of how I should change it up, if it sounds worse than my videos previously, I highly doubt that, but I did get a brand new setup. I just moved into my new apartment, and honestly guys, I hope you really do enjoy the sound quality because I feel like that was my most lacking area while making videos. If you guys do, drop a like, subscribe, turn on those notifications, guys. I would appreciate it. But this was a video I was waiting to move into my new place to make because I knew it would be a long one. So sit back, guys, enjoy while I rank every single legendary skin from worst to best. Starting out at my number 60 spot, guys, I feel like the fly trap deserves it. I will admit, the fly trap definitely has that sort of atypical design that we really don't see. But that doesn't really matter. If something's creative, if there's creative garbage out there, it's still garbage. That's kind of how I feel like the fly trap is. I really want to like this skin. You know, there's some skins out there that I hate. I don't want to like them at all. Flytrap is one of those sort of rare skins nobody uses, nobody buys, that I really want to like and actually use in game, but I just feel like it literally is the worst legendary skin in this game as of right now. Moving on to my number 59 spot, I had to give it to the Rex. You guys may disagree with this one, and I completely understand, but to me, the Rex is like a stuffed toy. He's a stuffed toy that I don't really want to play with. You know, I'm a grown man at this point, and I'm not going to play with stuffed toys, and honestly, I don't really like the green and orange. I don't think they go well together. Overall, for the most part, I'll say, for the most part, characters, like default characters in suits, they typically don't look good in my opinion. Moving on to my number 58 spot, I had to give it to the Visitor. This skin is one of those skins that everyone was able to get, or anyone who got the battle pass, which I would say is the majority of people who actually play this game. Everyone could get him just by completing the challenges. Once you unlocked him, was it worth it? Was it worth your time doing and completing all those challenges? I feel like for most people, it was such a disappointment. It was such a waste of time to do those challenges. And honestly, do I regret doing them? I don't really regret it, but if I was in your position, if I didn't like to collect skins, I would probably say, yeah, I regret even doing those challenges. It wasn't worth it. Moving on to my number 57 spot, I had to give it to the Stalker. This one is another disappointing skin because when I first saw it in the leaked images, I got my expectations a little bit too high. I thought this skin was going to be amazing, one of my new favorite legendary skins. When it came out, it's very plain. You guys can base what the skin looks like by the front of it if you would like. I like to base it by the back of the skin because that's actually what you're going to see in game. The front, you know, it can paint the picture, but the back is what you're really going to use in game. And the Stalker's back is so plain, it's so boring. It's just a guy with a trench coat. One thing I did wish they added, I wish they added the gas mask attached around his neck hanging off the back of him so we could actually see it. I think that would be a cool addition. I think that would make the skin a lot better, but Stalker, another disappointing skin just like the Visitor in my eyes. Moving on to my number 56 spot, I had to give it to the Warpaint. To me, the Warpaint is just a very simple skin that shouldn't be legendary. Do I see it as an epic? I really don't. I would say a rare, maybe even an uncommon skin I could see it as. I really could. Same with the Rose Team Leader. I could see her as an uncommon skin, maybe a rare. I think the rare is probably a more fair judgment though. The Warpaint, I rarely see people use. If you use it, leave a comment down below telling me. But to me, the Warpaint, it's just not good enough to make it any higher up on this list. I feel like it's somewhat of a plain design. Moving on to my number 55 spot, and I have to speed through a couple of these, so I'm not going to talk a long time about each of these skins, But the Moisty Merman at our number 55 spot, I feel like he just deserves it. It's another one of those skins, sort of like the Rex. It's just like a default character in a suit of some sort. This one, another wacky suit, sort of like the Rex or the Chomp Senior. And for me, the color scheme's pretty ugly. Like his webbed feet, like the webbed stuff hanging off his arms. I don't like it at all. I really don't. It's one of the most disgusting skins in this game. I feel like a lot of people can agree with me. Moving on to my number 54 spot, for a hatred I don't know why I have, but I do. I had to give it to the Havoc. This is the only legendary skin on this list that I do not own. So, you know what? Havoc, get out of here, get out of this game. But in all honesty, I really don't like the Raptor's design, and the Havoc is a reskin of the Raptor, but I think he's honestly a little bit worse than the Raptor is, or the Frostbite. We have a bunch of different, cuddle team leaders or team leaders, but I think those all look great. For me, I don't think the Raptor's design looks that great, and I don't know why they reskinned it so many times. Maybe it's because of C-Day. Maybe. I think that's probably the reason. That's probably why it's super popular as well. Moving on to my number 53 spot, I had to give it to the Zenith. The Zenith is one of those characters, sort of like the Wukong, that I just can't use in game because it's a little bit too bulky. I feel like I'm actually playing worse when I'm using certain skins, and I feel like Zenith is one of those skins that I just play worse with because it takes up so much space. It either has huge shoulder pads like the Wukong or the Zenith. I don't know exactly what it is, but I feel like his coat just takes up so much space on my screen. And overall, I personally don't like the design. I feel like it's pretty boring. Even with like the color yellow, which I think does look the best, I still think it is a boring skiing outfit that I'm not going to use. I've tried it out, still don't like it. Moving on to my number 52 spot, I had to give it to the Chomp Senior. To me, the Chomp Senior is sort of like the Moisty Merman and the Rex. It's just a little bit better. It's a little bit less obnoxious, but it sort of has that same sort of theme as the Zenith does. I feel like it's unusable because it's so distracting as a skin. It gets in my way. And regardless, if it didn't get in my way, it still probably would be at the number 52 spot. Moving on to my number 51 spot, guys, I had to give it to the Raptor. I do think the Raptor is better than every skin below it, but definitely not better than, I don't like it more than any skin above it. I will give it credit, guys. I do think the Raptor has a decent design, somewhat plain, but for when it came out, I think it was actually a pretty cool skin. As of right now, though, I just don't like it. Moving on to my number 50 spot, I had to give it to the Carbide. To me, the Carbide, it's sort of like the Raptor. The Raptor, the first skin in this game with a back bling. The Carbide and the Omega as well, the first skins in the game with upgrades to them. But sort of like the first Battle Royale game. Whatever it is, I don't know exactly what it was, the first one. It's definitely not better than Fortnite. Fortnite took that idea and they made it more creatively, they made it better. That's how I feel like with some of these skins. Just because they were the first of something, I can give them respect for that. It does not mean they're better than what came after, if that makes sense. Moving on to my number 49 spot, guys, I had to give it to the Valor. I honestly put this one here because I just never used this skin. I feel like it's a very forgettable skin, and to me the Triceratops has a very similar color scheme and looks somewhat similar. Don't roast me in the comment section, but somewhat similar to the Valor. So I would rather use Triceratops than the Valor. I feel like it's such a forgettable skin that I never use and I don't care to use. So that's why it's at the number 49 spot. Definitely not one of my least favorite skins, but one of the most forgettable skins in this game. Moving on to my number 48 spot, I had to give it to the Frostbite. The Frostbite, it's my favorite. It's my favorite out of the Havoc and the Raptor. The Frostbite, I think, is the best. I do like the color scheme. I think it works best with, the skin design. I feel like he should have that snowy sort of look to him. He should have, the Frostbite look to him. And I think it works out the best with Frostbite, but I still don't like the skin design. So he's at our number 48 spot. I guess that's somewhat respectable. Moving on to my number 47 spot, I had to give it to Oblivion. To me, this one is just so simple, it's so boring, it's so safe. Epic Games making the skin, it's just a safe option so they don't piss anyone off. Sometimes, you know, people say words to not piss anyone off. I don't like that type of person. I would rather have someone speak the truth and then piss me off if they must. Piss me off with the truth though. This one, a very safe option, doesn't want to offend anyone. You know, it's middle of the board. That's why it's at my number 47 spot. I personally do not like it. I think it's a very safe skin, like I said before. Moving on to not so safe of a skin, but a skin I don't like. DJ Bop. To me, DJ Yonder, a great skin, a lovely skin. I love that skin, guys, I really do. I think it's a great Battle Pass skin. In my top 10 for sure overall for all Battle Pass skins. But DJ Bop, the girl version, she just looks a little bit weird. People were saying she looks like a furry. I can definitely agree with that. Not my type of skin. Moving on to my number 45 spot, the Frozen skin, the Glimmer. This is a skin I really want to love. I want to love this skin, and maybe eventually, you know, it'll be higher up on this list. Maybe. I don't know, because I could see myself changing my mind on the skin. But as of right now, there's just something off about it that doesn't appeal to me. I personally don't like it, and I still haven't used it to this day. Moving on to my number 44 spot, I had to give it to the Magnus. To me, the Magnus is sort of like the Ragnarok, but a downgrade of the Ragnarok, so why would I use this skin? I feel like if there's a reskinned version of a certain skin, it has to be better. Sort of like the Love Ranger, the Frozen Love Ranger, I think is better than the Love Ranger. I think the Frozen Red Knight is better than the Red Knight. You know, the Magnus, not even close to being as good as Ragnarok. And you guys may say he's totally different, but I don't believe so. It doesn't look like that way to me, personally. Moving on to my number 43 spot, I had to give it to the Battle Hound. Sort of like the Valor, very, very forgettable. But I can't believe this one was considered rare a time ago. Like, what? It was not in the shop for like 2 to 3 months, and people were screaming that it was the rarest skin in the game. There are skins as of right now that have not been in the shop for like a year. You guys know of Tracker? No one talks about that one, but it is an insanely rare skin, but no one talks about it. The Battle Hound hasn't been in the shop for like 2 months. People are freaking out about it. Once everyone got it, tell me if you actually used it. I love him for the cape, I'll be honest, but I'm basing this solely on the skin, not on the back bling. Battle Hound, so forgettable, no one uses him. He was hyped when he was rare. I liked him a little bit more then, but to me, I just don't like his design as of right now. Moving on to my number 42 spot, I had to give it to the Enforcer. The Enforcer is somewhat similar in the reasoning to Oblivion. Oblivion, you guys know, very safe option. Enforcer, very safe option because the Visitor was so horrible. So Epic Games was like, okay, we can't mess this up again. Let's add the Enforcer. This is a safe option. Black and gray. So safe, so clean. You guys know what I mean, or am I just talking crazy right now? But I still do like the skin. I just don't like it. I think it's just a little bit annoyingly safe, and I feel like I can see through Epic and see what they're doing, and I wish they would just go experimental with some of these skins. Go crazy with it. You know, if it fails, it fails, but at least you tried. With the Visitor, I feel like that was so dull, they didn't try. Enforcer, they didn't really try, they went with the safe route. Moving on to my number 41 spot, the Criterion. The Criterion is better than the Oblivion by far. I do like the color scheme a little bit more. The blue and orange actually look very good on this skin. And guys, this skin, the Eon skin, the Oblivion, they're all, to me, like reskins of each other. I don't know which one came out first. I think Oblivion and Criterion came out at the same time, but I still really do like the Criterion's design more than the Oblivion. The Oblivion has like little triangle, like pokey triangles poking out from her arms, her legs. I don't understand why, but that just makes her look so much worse to me. I like the more smooth, simple look of the Criterion and Eon skin as well. Criterion, definitely not terrible. I do like the skin a little bit more than maybe I was putting off with this ranking, but definitely not a terrible skin, guys. Moving on to my number 40 spot, I had to give it to the Love Ranger. To me, guys, the Love Ranger is just nothing special. I don't like his pink pants as well. I feel like if they made him, they had to make him like the Frozen Love Ranger with the same color throughout his whole body. If they would have made his whole body stone, I think the Love Ranger would be a lot higher up on this list. I think he'd be a really cool skin, but that pink and gray kind of throws me off. I don't like the color scheme. Definitely not a terrible skin. Not one of my favorites though. I rarely use him, and I'm not gonna pick him. I really am not. Moving on to my number 39 spot, I had to give it to McCree, or the Deadfire. To me, the Deadfire really is better when he is reactive. So if you guys don't know what a reactive skin or item is in this game, it basically lights up a certain color or it changes a little bit as you progress throughout the game. Let's say you get 10 kills, it's gonna be glowing. It's gonna be changing, whatever it is, you know. If it's the Rainbow Smash, the horn grows and you get the rainbow horn instead of just a gold horn. With the Deadfire, it changes colors and there's a little like green flame effect flowing off his body. I think he really does look cool. I like the McCree look. I wish they added more Overwatch heroes. Which one would you like to see? For me, I think a Mercy one would be amazing. With the Mercy like healing item, I don't know what it's called, as a pickaxe. That would be insane, but definitely not a bad Overwatch type skin in my eyes. Moving on to my number 38 spot, I had to give it to the Crackshot. To me, the Crackshot has one fatal flaw. His big head, his big hat. That is insanely big, guys. If you haven't used it yet, go try it out because it is somewhat funny, or at least look up some gameplay of it. It is funny, but I just don't use the skin for that reason. I think he has a pretty good design. Not my favorite. Would he be in top 20 if his hat was a little bit smaller? Maybe, but I don't know. I think he could be like maybe top 30, not top 20. Moving on to my number 37 spot, I had to give it to the AIM. This was the best challenge skin we've gotten, in my opinion. It's somewhat creative, it's something a little bit different. I do really like his design. His frozen legs, you know, his frozen hands or arms. I don't know exactly what's frozen on him, but it's like a little frozen robot with, you know, a really cool design overall. You can see his chest cage like wide open. His rib cage or whatever, the chest area wide open, just, you know, hooked up to his legs. I think that's really cool. His red pants really stand out. Overall, I think it's a really good combination. I like this skin, but it's still like, it's not a perfect skin. It's not better than anything above it, in my opinion. Moving on to my number 36 spot, I had to give it to the Omen. To me, the Omen is somewhat underwhelming. I feel like he's just a simple skin, very simple plain color scheme, you know, the black and blue, like sort of darkish blue color. It's whatever. I think he looks terrible without his original back bling or another cape. If you use this skin without a cape, it looks terrible. But with his cape, I will give it credit, it looks like a pretty good skin. Moving on to my number 35 spot, I had to give it to the Spider Knight. To me, the Spider Knight is one of the toughest skins in this game. Like, he looks just tough. He looks like SpongeBob on steroids, or when SpongeBob would eat those nails, if you guys know what I'm talking about. I think, personally, this skin stands out so much compared to any skin in this game. One fatal flaw this thing has. I wish it had that Black Widow marking on his back. I wish it had the hourglass on his back. I don't know why it doesn't. I really don't. Can someone explain to me why they just have a random symbol on his back? Have the hourglass of the Black Widow. This skin would be a lot better, but it's just a random symbol that kind of throws me off. I don't like it, guys. I really don't. Moving on to my number 34 spot, I had to give it to the Dark Vanguard. To me, the Dark Vanguard is definitely not anywhere close to being better than the Dark Voyager. The orange and the black, I mean, at first it was very appealing because I do like orange colored skins, but I think the all black design just looks better with the Dark Voyager. I think the OG Dark Voyager is just overall a better skin, more appealing. If I had to lose one, which one would I lose? The Dark Vanguard or the Dark Voyager? Easily the Dark Vanguard every time. You guys may be asking yourself, and this is just an example. So let's say I'm at my number 33 spot and I'm praising it. I'm saying, wow, this is such a great skin. Then I move to my number 32 spot and I'm ripping it a new one. I'm like, this is terrible. This is the worst skin ever. Well, most likely it's because the number 33 spot, I'm trying to find the good in it and the potential in it. The number 32 spot is most likely ruined potential. I feel like that's why I do that. Because sometimes I praise the ones that are below the ones I just ripped apart. But I hope you guys understand that. Maybe you don't. Maybe you guys aren't even watching at this point. If you guys are watching at this point, type in use code COBESMIND or die. Type that in the comment section. If someone does, and I remember to, if I'm up at the time, I definitely will pin your comment. Thank you guys, but let's move on to my number 33 spot, the Rose Team Leader. A very simple skin, very, very simple. To me, I think it could be a rare skin. I think it could be an uncommon skin, but to be fair, a rare skin. I still do really like the design. I think for a legendary skin, it's not terrible, it's not amazing. I think having it somewhere in the middle, the number 33 spot, like close to the middle, I think that's appropriate. Moving on to my number 32 spot, I had to give it to the Omega. To me, the Omega is just a little bit too old-fashioned. He's a little bit outdated. You know, the Black Knight, would I say that's outdated? No, I think that will live on for centuries and centuries. Omega to me, I don't really care for him at this point. Even fully upgraded, whatever. His upgrades aren't that great. His armor's cool, but his final upgrade when you can switch the colors, it's not that great, guys. Moving on to my number 31 spot, I had to give it to the Musha. This one may have fallen a little bit further than I would have liked it to, because I really do love the Musha skin. I love the samurai designs, the Hime, the Shogun, the Musha, all great designs. I love them all. I think the Musha is a great option, but he has a horrible back bling. Go with the Hime and the Shiro. I mean, come on, that's a perfect combo. Moving on to my number 30 spot, I had to give it to the Krampus. The Krampus, I feel like, deserves the number 30 spot because I do not know if I like this skin. I want to love this skin, but I can't decide if I like it or not. In the comments, tell me if you like this skin. I can't decide. It's at the number 30 spot, thank God. Moving on to my number 29 spot, I had to give it to the Arcanine. The Spider Queen. I'm going to call her the Spider Queen because I don't know how to pronounce her name. But I definitely think she's a lot better than the Spider Knight. I just think she is overall. I think that white hair really makes her stand out. The sort of like spider goggles on her head are really cool as well. Her design just very sleek. Like the color scheme, I like that like white skin tone. Not like a regular white as you would call it, which is actually like tan or pink. Like literally like an ashy white color. I think that looks really cool. Moving on to my number 28 spot, I had to give it to the Fate. And you know what? I don't give enough credit to the Fate. I do like it as a skin, but I can see why I don't put it higher up on this list. I feel like there are so many skins similar to her. The Enforcer, the Omen, the Ravage, the Raven, maybe you could say those two. The Cloak Star as well. I mean, that's somewhat similar. Very similar color scheme, a hooded character, all black. You know, very similar to the Fate. I do like the Fate though a lot, and you know, at the number 28 spot, I would say I like every skin above the number 28 spot. I would say probably at the number 31 spot, I start to really like the skins at Musha. Krampus, I couldn't really decide on. Arcanine, Spider Queen, like it. Fate, like it. You know, the top 10, love them. Couldn't lose them. Moving on to my number 27 spot, I had to give it to the Panda Team Leader. The Panda Team Leader isn't the OG. I do like the OG one the most. I feel like the Cuddle Team Leader definitely stands out the most. I love that pink and white color. I think she looks the best, honestly. I really do. Panda Team Leader, I think she fits the design of the Team Leader design the best though. So I will give her credit. I do like her back bling a little bit more as well. I think this is a great option for a legendary skin if you guys want to go out and buy it. Moving on to my number 26 spot, I had to give it to the Red Knight. And here's what happened with the Red Knight. When it was rare, I said it was my favorite legendary skin in this game. When it wasn't rare anymore, it came back to the item shop, everyone had it. I said, whatever, it's garbage, whatever. I don't care about it anymore. It's trash to me now, everyone has it. Now, I would say it's definitely a good skin, definitely above like half of these skins, easily above half of the legendary skins in this game. And I could see it moving up higher in the near future. If I were to remake this video, let's say in a couple months from now, I could definitely see it being higher. Moving on to my number 25 spot, I'd give it to the Dark Voyager. The Dark Voyager, guys. I love this skin. You know, I have a love-hate relationship with it. When it first came out, obviously everyone loved it. It was the best skin in the Battle Pass, or at least people said that. Everyone loved it. You know, after a while, I got sick of the astronaut skins. I didn't care for them, but as of right now, it's been such a long time that I'm starting to like the skins a little bit more. Dark Voyager, you found your spot in my heart again. Moving on to my number 24 spot, I had to give it to the Frozen Raven. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, the Frozen set is very high up on this list. The Frozen Raven, a great skin. That's all I'm going to say about it. Moving on to my number 23 spot, I had to give it to the Wildcard. The Wildcard is a reskin of the John Wick, and I honestly love the John Wick so much. I love the Jack Gordon, and I love the Wildcard as well. I think the Wildcard, I don't know, is he the most different? I would say he's probably... No, Jack Gordon's probably a little bit more different, but he definitely has the most different color scheme, I would say. The all white looks so smooth, so clean. If you just want to be an all-out killer in this game, go with this skin. Moving on to my number 22 spot, I had to give it to the Power Chord. The Power Chord sort of had the same pattern as the Red Knight. You know, when she was rare, I loved her. I need her. When she came out, whatever, she's garbage, she's trash. As of right now though, I definitely like this skin a lot more than I thought I ever would. I feel like I like this skin more than I did when it was rare. I really do. I love this skin, guys, and I love using it. It's very different. Moving on to my number 21 spot, I had to give it to the Valkyrie. I love the Valkyrie. I love her bright blue, like baby blue hair, the all black design. I think the fur on her looks amazing. Overall, very simple design, I would say, but very cool looking. I love the color scheme. Moving on to my number 20 spot, it's kind of funny how this worked out, the Ragnarok. The Ragnarok is the male version of the Valkyrie, and the Valkyrie is the female version of the Ragnarok. I would say the Ragnarok is just a bit better than the Valkyrie. I love his upgrades, and I think fully upgraded he looks better. Stage 4 he looks better, but not stage 3 to 1. I don't think he looks better than the Valkyrie does. But at the final stage, with those glowing blue horns, I just love his design. It's so detailed. I love his beard as well. Moving on to my number 19 spot, I had to give it to the Wukong. You guys might be surprised about this one. The Wukong is a skin that I love. I love his design. I think it's amazing. It's a skin I will not use simply for the fact that his shoulder pads get in the way of my vision when I play. I love this skin. I love its design though. Moving on to my number 18 spot, I had to give it to the Frozen Love Ranger. This one is definitely a lot higher up than the regular Love Ranger, but I love everything in the Frozen set. I really do. This is a great skin. He's so vibrant, it's almost blinding. Like, if you're looking at him in your locker, you almost can't see him. You can't see those eyes especially. They're white on like blindingly bright blue. It's pretty hard, it's pretty funny as well to see. I don't know, guys, tell me what you think. Frozen Love Ranger, definitely a step up to the Love Ranger in my eyes. Moving on to my number 17 spot, I had to give it to the Calamity. And to me, the Calamity is one of those skins that will live on. Sort of like, I would say, the John Wick has lived on for a very long time as of right now. Or the Rust Lord has lived on for a very long time. People still use that skin. I think personally the Calamity will be that type of skin. I love her fully upgraded, the all black trench coat. I mean, my God, I love that, guys. And I spent so many days just when that season first came out grinding it. Maybe that's why I like it, because I was so happy when I first got it, but I think overall it's a great skin. Moving on to my number 16 spot, the John Wick. The John Wick, a staple of Fortnite, or at least he is to me. Do you guys think Season 3 skins are rare? People keep asking me that. Are Season 3 skins rare yet? I don't know. I would say no, but if I say that, then people are going to get pissed. Tell me in the comment section. John Wick, obviously an iconic skin. I don't feel like I need to explain him that much. Moving on to my number 15 spot, I had to give it to the Ice King. I feel like the Ice King is somewhat plain and boring. I feel like they could have done something a little bit different to make him so much better. I feel like there's so much potential there, and he's at our number 15 spot. I still love this skin, but I think there is potential there. What is that potential? Maybe make the cloak a different color. Don't just have it the same color as, you know, every skin in this game, just black. Have it like change colors. Have the cloak change to red. Have it change to blue as you upgrade it, yellow. I think that would be amazing. Have the base stages black and then upgrades red, yellow, blue. I think that would look so cool, but you know, sadly, we can't get that. Moving on to my number 14 spot, I had to give it to the Raven. The Raven, a little bit better than the Frozen Raven, I would say. I made my mind up before I started this video. If I had to choose, I would probably go with the OG Raven. I think he's just a little bit better. I think the OG Raven is one of the best legendary skins to ever come out in this game, and I don't feel like anyone can disagree with that. I think the Raven, with that, like, he was the first character, I think, in this game to have that hooded, sort of, like, ominous look to him. Those glowing eyes, with the rest of his face just black because of the shadow. I think that's so cool. I would love to see the Raven's actual face. Has anyone like made a picture of that? I don't know, but Raven, I gotta give him my respect. Moving on to my number 13 spot, I had to give it to the Drift. Drift is one of my all-time favorite skins, one of my all-time favorite battle pass skins. Let me clarify, okay? As of right now, one of my all-time favorite battle pass skins. And when I say that, I mean he's in the top 10. He's sort of like the Calamity in my eyes. I feel like the Calamity is the female version of the Drift. If you guys disagree, feel free to. But they're both battle pass skins. They both have that trench coat. They both have glowing lights like throughout their trench coat as well. I know they have some differences, but I feel like they're very similar at the same time. And I do think Drift looks a lot better. I love this skin, and I don't care if it's a bot skin, I still love it. Let's move on to my number 12 spot, the Dire Werewolf, if you guys did not know. One of the ugliest skins at his base stage, one of the worst, ugliest, my god, it's disgusting. But at his final stage, well, not his final, I think once you get to stage 2 or 3, and so on, he's just like a regular werewolf. You can change up the colors a bit. Absolutely amazing. And I feel like they could have done this with the Ice King. They could have made that cloak, the cape he has on, or not the cape, the hood he has on, whatever it's called. The sweatshirt? It's probably not a sweatshirt, but the hoodie. They could have made the hoodie change colors, sort of like they made the werewolf change, you know, his fur color. I think they could have easily done that. But I love that about the Dire. You can actually change the color of his fur, and it makes him look like such a different skin. I love that he's not in a suit. He's an actual werewolf. I think that's so cool, guys. I love that. One of my favorite concepts of a skin in this game. One of my favorites for legendaries at the very least. Let's move on to my number 11 spot. I had to give it to the Lynx. The Lynx, I really wish, I really hope, is sort of like the werewolf. She literally is the Lynx. She's not a regular human being anymore. After you upgrade her, she turns into something else, like the Dire, or the, you know, stage 1 Dire, who's just a man, turns into a werewolf. I hope it's the same for the Lynx. That'd be awesome. I don't think it is though. But my favorite stage is the red stage for the Lynx, and at this point, every single person uses that skin. It's a bot skin. I don't care. I still like the skin. Moving into my top 10, guys, the Vertex. The Vertex is one of those skins I can see people just hating. They despise it. It's the worst skin in the game. I love the color orange. I love the sort of robot. I feel like he looks like Deadpool. I really do. I think he looks like Deadpool. If you guys disagree, leave your comments down below. But he looks like an orange Deadpool. I think that looks so cool. I love his design, guys. I love it. You know, there's one problem with it. I would say his legs look a little bit weird. But other than that, I'm just not going to look at his legs. I'll look at that booty. and I'll be good. Moving on to my number 9 spot, I had to give it to the Shogun. I feel like the Shogun is such an upgraded version to the Musha that the Musha slid down a little bit further than maybe I would have liked him to. I think the Shogun is one of the most detailed skins in this game, sort of like the Wukong is in my opinion. The Shogun, so detailed, so much armor on him, perfect color scheme, I love it. I love this skin, guys, I'll say it 1,000 times over. Moving on to my number 8 spot, I had to give it to the Frozen Red Knight. This skin is so refreshing. I feel like it literally is a refreshing version of the Red Knight. I think this is the perfect color scheme that the Red Knight could have. If they changed it to any girl knight skin, but they had the same like design for the skin, they changed the colors around, I don't think you could find a more clean color than that gray and blue together. They look amazing. I love it, guys. Tell me what you think. Frozen Red Knight, number 8 spot. Moving on to my number 7 spot, I had to give it to the Leviathan. This color scheme isn't perfect, I can admit that. But I will say, there's not another skin like him, and I love him for that. I love this skin, guys. I love his overall design. I love how he was created. I love the story behind him as well, the Leviathan. That's such a cool name as well. Tell me what you guys think. Do you like the Leviathan? I feel like this one and maybe the Frozen Red Knight are probably my weirdest choices in the top 10. Moving on to my number 6 spot, I had to give it to the Ravage. I really do think the Ravage is better than the Raven at this point. I love the Raven, guys, don't get me wrong, but the female version just looks a little bit better. Moving into my number 5 spot, I had to give it to the Cuddle Team Leader at our number 5 spot. The Cuddle Team Leader, a comeback kid if there was one. The comeback story of the century. I hated this skin when it first came out, but now I love it. It's one of my favorites. I think it stands out compared to every legendary skin. I would say this one stands out the most. I love its very vibrant pink color scheme. I love the teddy bear look it has. I think it's just so cool, guys. It sounds so dumb as I'm saying it, but I really do love this skin. Moving on to my number 4 spot, I had to give it to the Tricerops. To me, the Tricerops, very similar to the Cuddle Team Leader. I hated the skin when it first came out. I was so mad because I thought it should have been epic. I thought it wasn't good enough to be legendary. Now it's in my top 5 for legendaries when there's 60 of them. I think it's such a simple dinosaur design that I love so much. I don't think they should have changed it at all. I think Epic did a great job with this skin. I love the red color scheme as well. Moving into my top 3, at my number 3 spot, the Black Knight. I'm finally giving the Black Knight the respect it deserves. I feel like the Black Knight is a great skin, he is iconic, and you cannot hate on him. If you love Fortnite, you love the Black Knight, that's just how it goes. He's not my number 1 spot, but most iconic skin in this game, I would say, of course he is. Of course he is. The all black knight design, wow. I gotta give it to Epic Games on this one. Another perfect design. Moving on to my number 2 spot, I had to give it to the Eon. Guys, honestly, the Eon might be a surprising one, but if you've watched some of my gameplays, if you watch some of my videos, you'll see this skin a lot in my gameplays. I love using this skin. It's one of my favorites. Maybe it's because it's exclusive, but I don't think so. I love the Criterion's design. I really do. But I don't think the color scheme is perfect. I do think it's perfect on the Eon. The subtle green, the white that stands out the most, and the gray. I think it's just a perfect sort of robot design that I love. I love the Eon, guys. One skin that I'll probably use the most because it is exclusive, but definitely one of my favorites. My number 1 spot, guys, for my favorite legendary. Can you guess what it is? Like, do you know? Like, without looking it up or anything, do you know what's left? There's one legendary skin left. What could it be? What could it possibly be? I had to give it to my number 1 spot. This video I've been recording for 55 minutes. Oh my god. I'm gonna be up until like 6 a.m. just editing, uploading this. Oh my god. My number 1 spot, guys, Hime. I love Hime. Hime Wouldn't have been at the #1 spot if Epic didn't add the edit styles. But with the edit styles, without her mask on, without anything on, I think she looks the best. Guys, try her out if you haven't. Go buy the Hime. The back bling, one of the best in this game as well. Literally a perfect skin. It's simple, but it's also there's a lot going on with it. It's simple, but there's a lot going on with it. Color scheme, blue, gold, mostly. Perfect, I love it. The samurai design, I love it. Being able to take the mask off and get that like hair in a bun, I think it looks so good. Overall, Hime, my favorite skin. It has been for a while. I didn't really want to mention it in any videos. That's why I would say like, Hime top 5 for sure. But she's been my favorite for a while. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section. Did you enjoy this video? Did you actually watch it all? Thank you guys for watching. Bye bye.